Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a really unique story. Think of it as a kind of secret pilgrim's journey, but it's not from some ancient book. Nope, it's hidden in plain sight, crafted from the liner notes of a rock and roll legend. It's an incredible story of hope, struggle, and change, told one song title at a time. It all kicks off with this line, right? A feeling I think we all know, that restless urge, the sense that you were meant for the open road, for something else. It's pure rock and roll. But what if this isn't just a feeling? What if it's the very first clue in a much, much bigger story? And that's exactly the question we're going to dig into. We're not looking at this as just a lyric. We're treating it as the first piece of an amazing literary puzzle, a poetic code that's just been sitting there waiting for someone to crack it. Okay, so how is a code like this even built? I mean, how do you create an entire epic journey, a sort of modern-day pilgrimage, using only words that are already out there? Well, the technique actually has a name. It's called found poetry. The artist basically becomes a kind of literary archaeologist, digging through existing texts to find bits and pieces they can assemble into something totally new. It's all about seeing the poetry that's already hidden in the world around us. And here's the kicker. The source material for this entire poem, it's all from one place. Every single word you're about to hear is a song title from Bruce Springsteen. That's it. It's such a cool creative challenge, which honestly makes the final poem that much more incredible. You know, every great journey has to have a starting point. And for our wayfarer, this pilgrimage begins with this really powerful, deeply rooted sense of place and, well, of belonging. Just listen to how that builds. It's this incredible declaration of who he is. We start small, in a lucky town, then we zoom into my hometown, then Darlington County, before we go all the way out to the entire USA, which he just calls the Promised Land. So this is way more than just a location on a map, right? It's a foundation. It's built on that whole idea of the American dream. Our narrator starts out totally secure, confident, and rooted. But, as we know, any true pilgrimage has to start with the decision to leave that comfort zone behind. And there it is. That's the call to adventure. Our narrator makes a very conscious choice to leave the light and safety of the Promised Land and step right into the darkness on the edge of the town. The journey, it is officially begun. This kicks off the next part of the story, the ordeal. This is where that romantic idea of the open road just smacks right into a harsh reality. It's really the heart of the pilgrimage, where our traveler gets tested and ultimately broken. And this descent into hardship, it happens in 4 really clear stages. It all starts with a hopeful search in the tunnel, but that escalates fast into a dangerous plunge into the river, a near drowning in the flood, and it all ends in the total desolation of the ruins. So the first trial is this search for connection, maybe for love. But instead of finding what he's looking for in the tunnel of love, our wayfarer finds something way harsher, way grittier, devils in dust. And just like that, hope turns into some serious disillusionment. And this is the moment of pure peril. The journey just becomes completely overwhelming. The narrator dives headfirst into the river. You can think of it as a symbol for chaos, and is almost completely consumed, almost lost in the flood. This is the point of no return. But what happens after surviving that flood is so important. The narrator doesn't come out of it stronger. They emerge shattered. The journey has completely stripped away all their optimism and left them totally adrift in this emotional wasteland. And this is the aftermath. I mean, the imagery here is just devastating. A lonesome day, an empty sky. The world on the outside now perfectly mirrors the ruin he feels on the inside. The Promised Land from the beginning of his journey, it's now become a city in ruins. So where do you go from there? Well, this leads to the final transformation. After being completely broken by the road, our narrator doesn't try to rebuild who they were. Instead, they embrace a totally new identity, one that was forged in motion and hardship. I mean, look at this contrast. It's just stark. The kid from my hometown is long gone. In his place is a hitchhiking wayfarer. The person who was rooted in the Promised Land is now a rocker in a stolen car. He's no longer defined by a place, but by constant, restless motion. This is the last leg of the journey. But it's not a ride home. It's a drive toward this desolate kind of peace. He finds a car at the Cadillac Ranch, makes a quick, anonymous stop at Sleepy Joe's Cafe, and then follows the Western Star at sundown,
all the way to his final destination, the Badlands.
And these are the haunting final lines. There's no big triumphant return. Instead, there's just this quiet acceptance of fading away, of dissolving into the landscape like a forgotten wreck on the highway. It's a sad ending, for sure, but also strangely peaceful.
So, when you look at the whole thing, this pilgrim's journey is really a modern tragedy. It's not about finding your way back home. It's about being so completely transformed by the road that the very idea of home doesn't even exist anymore. The end isn't a failure, it's a final poetic dissolving. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. This whole epic, incredible narrative was built from nothing but song titles. It really makes you wonder, if you had to piece together the titles that defined your own journey, what kind of story would they tell?